MTC Beats. MTC Beats. MTC Beats.
All right, guys, welcome back to the Average Prodigy. I'm Eli, and today I'm joined with Michael O of University of North Carolina Baseball. How you doing, Michael?
I'm doing well, man. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no problem. So, obviously, I'm pretty interested in your Tommy John surgery story since I also got it. But before we do that, I wanted to just take it back to your path to getting to North Carolina. So, just like starting in high school, what was kind of that process like?
Yeah, so in high school, just kind of went through, wasn't really heavily recruited per se. Um, I got a offer from Creighton University actually going into my senior year. And so I was pretty hyped about that. I jumped on the opportunity right away. Um, Went there, things didn't really work out in the fall. Ended up transferring actually to a junior college called Nyack. It's in Mason City, Iowa. And I guess that's kind of where I kind of found myself, surrounding myself with really good people. Was fortunate enough to play under Travis Hergert, who's now an assistant pitching coordinator with the Phillies, actually.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was pretty blessed to be around just really good guidance with him. And, I've met my best friends there. So that was pretty cool. I got Tommy John that spring, actually, my freshman year, and ended up getting Tommy John and knee surgery that summer. And so I was sidelined for a bit, came back, just took classes for a year while I was out, and then went to P3. It's a pitching performance place in St. Louis. And that kind of helped me, get on the right track coming back from TJ and everything. And, had a good fall, was lucky enough to have Coach Woodard come down and see me pitch out in Iowa. And then, now I'm at North Carolina. So it's been a pretty crazy journey.
Yeah, man, that sounds pretty crazy. So, now we're going to talk about kind of like the Tommy John. So, was it like a pop or was it kind of just like a gradual thing?
Yeah, it was definitely more of a gradual thing. I kind of had elbow issues a little bit in high school. So
Mhm.
I kind of felt it my junior year of high school, but didn't think much of it. Didn't bother me too much in college really till freshman year, I guess, the spring at Nyack. And, it kind of just felt like a strain and it kind of just got gradually worse throughout my outings. But, I didn't think much of it, just kept pitching.
Yeah.
And then eventually kind of got to the point where it would just like hurt to strain my arm. I couldn't really throw a ball anymore. And
Yeah.
so got the MRI, got the news, and, it stink, but, it is what it is.
Yeah. And so, how hard were you throwing like before you got the surgery versus after and like all your cover and stuff?
Yeah. So before I was about, man, in the fall, I was actually probably like 81, 83,
Mhm.
topping 85. Went to Nyack, got some good training, just they were just so advanced, especially for, junior college. We're in the middle of Iowa. Didn't think much of it, but they just knew so much. And I was so fortunate to be around those guys with what they did with drive line and mobility and just like getting my body right. Got up to about mid to upper 80s and, pitched about 4 starts before I kind of started feeling my elbow a bit.
Yeah.
And right now I'm kind of sitting around, I think like 87, 89, I think topping 90 in a few bullpens this summer. So, it's exciting.
Okay, yeah, for sure. Um, and so after you get the surgery and you're starting your training process to get back to playing baseball. You said you went to St. Louis. So what were some of the things that you were doing to prepare yourself coming back from the Tommy John and the knee surgery?
Yeah. I think the biggest thing was more mental than anything else, just because, I mean, you talk to anybody, I know, yourself, you think you re-tear your UCL probably like 12 different times coming back from TJ.
Mm-hmm.
It's never a gradual, it's never like a smooth process. There's going to be ups and downs, but I think the best advice I ever got was just to trust the surgery. Trust the surgery, know you're doing the right things. Your elbow's going to get sore, but it's a part of it. Don't think too much of it. Just keep doing your thing and keep working.
Mm-hmm. So like, what were some of the what were some of the workouts that you were doing?
Yeah, I mean, I think at first it was kind of just like typical, just get in the weight room,
Mm-hmm.
put a bar on your back, bench, do all that stuff, just get big, get big, throw hard, that type of thing.
Yeah.
And I think that was good for the beginning. I think that's a good foundation to have. Eat a lot of food, sleep a lot, lift a lot. Like that'll get you off to a good start. But eventually you're going to have to really get into the hip mobility, the T-spine mobility, your recovery, the things you do before and after you throw that, I didn't really have too much focus on necessarily before the surgery. And so, I think it was kind of a blessing in disguise because it kind of made me really focus up on my routine and all the little things that kind of go into what you do before and after you throw.
Yeah, for sure. And like one of the things that I was talking to like my occupational therapist about, and really in the first couple sessions, he was telling me is like once you go through the recovery process, it's more of they prepare your whole body, not just your arm. So do you
Definitely.
think that therapy process has made you a better baseball player? Would you say?
For sure. For sure. I mean, they just shed so much light on stuff you don't really think about before, like arm care. I would say just recovery was the most important thing too. I wasn't really sleeping well my first year in college because, you're kind of busy and you don't really think about it. And you're in high school also, like you got your parents cooking your food and stuff. Like it's a lot of things to take into consideration. And, I think going through that for sure definitely just helped me become just, I think, a healthier person, but definitely kept me healthy just in general, pitching wise especially.
Okay, gotcha. So you get what you so you said you had a knee surgery too. What did you do to your knee?
I dislocated my patella.
Okay.
And so I had to get a reconstruction on my MPFL. It's that little ligament that just like holds that thing together. So yeah, that was kind of a grind also. I guess I would kind of compare it to the TJ as well. It sucks because, you're in that brace and you want to move your arm around. It's kind of the same thing with your leg. You just want to get walking. You just want to
Yeah.
start moving. You don't want to be stuck on the couch, but, it's all part of it.
So since you had that knee surgery as well, how did you structure your recovery then? Was it like two
Yeah.
days or what?
Yeah, it was kind of weird actually. So normally you kind of come back from throwing. What was it? What'd you do? Like, was it 4 or 5 months?
Oh, I just had it like 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Dang, man. How you feeling?
I'm feeling good. I mean, my arm is not in any pain or anything, but obviously I'm in the hinge brace and stuff now.
Oh
So
yeah. Oh yeah. Dang, man. Well, good luck with everything.
yeah,
I mean,
appreciate that.
yeah, just take it day by day. It's all part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh yeah. But so yeah, usually come back around 5 months, I think, into like throwing just like light, or if it's like some sort of like heavy ball, just throw into like a trampoline.
hmm
But obviously with my knee, I kind of had to like backtrack that a little bit. And
Yeah.
so I didn't really start throwing until 7 months, so where I could really put like full weight onto my right knee and kind of do some exercises with that and stuff too. And so, it was terrible. It was bad at the beginning because, you just want to get thrown right away.
Yeah.
I'm happy that I got it all done, I guess, like all at once.
This just hearing you say this is so crazy though, because obviously your right knee pitching, you're a right-handed pitcher. I
Mhm.
mean, the amount of force you're putting on your right knee and your arm, that's just a crazy story. Okay, so you're done with the recovery, and now you are going into your first season pitching in JUCO. So how did that first season go?
First season, it went pretty well. So I got sidelined the first spring, but I had my first like full healthy season a couple years ago
Hmm.
going in, and I mean it was just a world of a difference, man. Like just knowing, what works and what doesn't work for my body, kind of just like trial and error through the whole recovery process. I think I was, able to just kind of keep my body in a lot better shape and keep my arm in better shape. And, you know, it was terrible going through all of it,
Hmm.
but you definitely come out, a better pitcher and a healthier pitcher out of it for sure.
Yeah, and that was I was talking to a wide receiver at Wyoming, and he actually tore both of his ACLs within 2 years of each other.
Jeez.
And so he was saying that, and this was before I had to get Tommy John, but he was saying that he got the most um, like mentally out of the process rather than physically. Would you kind of agree with that as well?
100%. 100%. Um, I think the biggest thing I learned from it was that, baseball just really isn't everything.
Hmm.
And I know like people say that a lot, but it's so important to remember because, you're so devoted to your sport and you care so much about it. And injuries is just something nobody can predict.
Yeah.
And so when things like that happens, it kind of makes you take a step back and kind of just realize like, okay, like I'm very fortunate, with what I have in my life. Baseball is not everything. I shouldn't stress too much about it. But at the same time, you want to make sure you're still doing the right things to get back to where you want to be. So
Yeah, for sure. And did your mound approach change at all versus before you had the surgery and after?
I think so, a little bit for sure.
Yeah.
Um, I'll gladly admit that at times I might have taken baseball for granted a little bit,
Hmm.
and then sitting out and then watching your friends play, and especially for me being at JUCO in the fall, like watching all my friends like start committing to schools and stuff, and knowing that I'd be out for another year, and it was just it's not fun to watch it because you kind of feel like you're stuck behind when everyone else is kind of moving forward.
Yeah.
And so I think just I had a fresh approach coming back, and I was just thankful to be on the field, and I just let it all out. I let everything out in the field. I knew it helps you realize that it can be taken away at any moment. So when
Yeah.
you're on the field, when you're throwing, you don't take it for granted anymore.
Yeah. And I can relate to that 100% because, so I'm a sophomore, and so I didn't get to play at all this year, including summer ball. But I've seen a lot of the guys around where I live, and a lot of the guys that I would have been playing against in summer ball, getting recruited and committing. And it's just like it sucks, but you know that it's all happening for a reason.
Exactly. Yeah. And if you just keep working, man, just keep working, take it day by day, like you're gonna be there too.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So, going from JUCO to then North Carolina, I know you said that the coach came up there and watched you in the fall, right?
hmm
So, what was the recruiting process like?
Yeah. I mean, it was kind of crazy. So one of my friends actually went there on a visit, and they came down to watch him pitch.
Hmm.
And so I remember it was our scout day. So it was our last outings of the fall. And Coach Woodard came down back when he was a pitching coach here. And, everyone was kind of freaking out because he had the UNC shirt on. Everybody was like, holy crap, like
Yeah.
UNC is here. And, he came down to watch my friend. And then fortunately enough, he saw me and then he liked me. Um, went back, talked to the coaches, and then was on a visit the next week. It was pretty surreal.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. Were you recruited by any other schools, or was it just UNC?
It was really just UNC.
That's pretty crazy. And so the coach just came down there watching another player and just happened to see you on that day, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Do you think that was just kind of like a God is definitely real moment? How you just happened to pitch really well, that day while the coach was there?
oh my goodness, 100%, 100%. I still think about that. Me and my parents even still talk about that all the time. Like, what are the odds?
Hmm.
What are the odds? And, you know, even like me being from Chicago, like UNC has always been like my dream school.
Yeah.
And like right after TJ, I remember my dad asked me, he's like, well, you got a fresh start. If you could pick one school, where do you want to go? I was like, UNC.
Really?
Yeah.
That's
And
crazy.
it's just insane how kind of all this happened. I thank God every day. And
Hmm.
it really is a blessing to be here.
Yeah, definitely. Um, so obviously your guys' season was cut short this year. So what was the difference? You guys played a fall season or had some fall games, right? What was the difference between now playing at a Division I school and a high Division I school as North Carolina versus like the JUCO?
Ooh, man, that's a good one. Um, I mean, obviously they're like the little things, like you're at JUCO, your breakfast in the morning, if you get one, you go to Hy-Vee and you get those powdered eggs, maybe some donuts.
Hmm.
We'd have breakfast pizza a lot from Casey's. I don't know if you know what that is. It's kind of
Yeah,
a
I'm a
Midwest
Midwest boy.
thing. Oh, okay, nice.
Yeah.
Um, and then you come here and then you got a breakfast spread. They're asking you if you want turkey bacon or sausage, and I'm like, I didn't even know I had a choice.
Hmm.
Um, just like little stuff like that. It's just it's crazy.
Yeah. And do you think that your development, both just as an athlete and as a player, has grown a lot since you've had all the resources that you do in North Carolina?
Definitely, definitely. Um, I mean, I remember at JUCO we would sneak into the training room and we would use like a back of like those reflex tests where
Hmm.
they like hit your knee, and that's what we would use, and we would like scrape each other's elbows and stuff,
Oh my gosh.
and we just do like little stuff like that to try to just keep ourselves healthy. And then like you come here, you have Terry Joe, who's probably the best athletic trainer in the world, and I'll
Hmm.
say that she cares so much about all of us, and she's always been there for us. She always will be there for us. And if you need anything, you go in. Either her or one of the graduate assistants will help you out with whatever you need. And we're very lucky here.
Yeah. Um, so like since North Carolina was your dream school and you had to go through the grueling process of surgery on your knee and your elbow, now that you're at the position that you are, uh, how does that feel?
I mean, kind of just crazy, I guess.
Hmm.
Very, very grateful,
Yeah.
more than anything. Um, Obviously, looking back, I can feel that way because, going through the process of the surgery and all that, it's very stressful,
Hmm.
and I know you're going through it right now. Um, and I guess I'd say like my best advice just to stick with it, man.
Hmm.
Stick with it day by day, and good things will happen if you work hard. And
Yeah.
so, you know,
Would you say that like whenever the times got difficult throughout your rehab, uh, like what got you through those tough times?
hmm, I would say probably the biggest thing would just be my family,
Hmm.
more than anything. I'm very lucky. My mom, my dad, my sister. Um, you know, uh, Being at JUCO and going through the surgery, and I was still stuck at JUCO. It'd been very easy for them to be like, hey, like let's cut this out. Like you gave it a good run. Just go to a different school. Get your degree. Like focus on something else.
Yeah.
And they stuck with me through it all and supported me. With whatever I needed and all the physical therapy. And I couldn't even drive, so I was like 20, 21, having my parents like drive me around places all over to get rehab and stuff. And I wouldn't be here without them. So
Yeah.
definitely great.
How did you, my next question would be, obviously once you got the surgery, there's probably people telling you, trying to get you to take up like other activities and, just focus on school, not, you know, think that you can be a pitcher anymore or anything. So how did you keep your confidence up and your confidence in yourself, no matter what throughout that process?
I would just say, surrounding yourself with people that have the same goal as you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, um, your environment matters so much, and I think that's the biggest lesson that the recovery process and JUCO taught me more than anything. It's you're a product of your environment, and being at JUCO, everyone's got the same goal, hard nose. You go in, you get your work in, and you got that goal, and we all work for it. And, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for those guys pushing me to be where I am and try to be the best pitcher I can be. And so, I'm beyond grateful for them. They're probably the best friends I'll ever have also. And so I'd say that was the most important thing.
Yeah. So how did you prepare for, like, did you play summer baseball or just work out? Like, how did you prepare going, like, into your freshman year to pitch at UNC?
Probably, well, actually, I threw about 70 something innings, I think, or 80 something innings this spring at JUCO.
Okay.
So I actually took about 5 weeks off of throwing, kind of just for like a little shutdown, and didn't do too much. We actually had summer school here, so we didn't really play summer ball.
Yeah.
Which I think was good for us because, I think it would have been a little too much my first season back, throwing too many innings going into the fall. And so it was kind of a good time for me to just like get, as strong as possible, get the body right, whatever nagging things, whether it could be like elbow, knee, shoulder, whatever it is, kind of just figure that out throughout the summer and just like try to be healthy, and be ready to pitch in the fall.
Yeah, for sure. And I was talking to a third baseman at University of Louisville, Ben Metzinger, and he was saying that like in their transitioning into his first year at Louisville, that they didn't really focus much on the baseball aspect at first. They just really focused on getting the athletes into like a certain physical and mental strength. Do you think that they're taking that as seriously at North Carolina, would you say?
Definitely. I remember the first probably 2-3 weeks of like the lifting here, like we didn't even touch a weight.
Mm-hmm.
It was all mobility, like making sure like your shoulders are healthy, hips are healthy, really building that foundation. And I think that's the metaphor they use is just building the layers, one layer at a time. And, it's definitely humbling because, 21-year-old kind of coming in, you feel like you kind of know your way around the weight room, sorry.
Mm-hmm.
And, they got you doing body weight squats. I'm like, what the hell are we doing?
Yeah.
But, I think it was necessary, and I'm glad I went through it.
Yeah, for sure. It's something that like David Goggins talks about is like callousing your mind. Do you think that they do that throughout the like the fall and whatnot to prepare you for whenever you're on the mound, you get in those difficult situations?
For sure. I think that starts off with kind of the coaching staff.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously Coach Fox just retired, but having Coach Fox, Coach Gaines, Forbes, Coach Weirs, they've been through it all. And so having them as resources, kind of going through it, the competitive aspect, everyone's fighting for a spot, that type of mentality, I think it kind of just naturally, builds your, I guess, like competitive fire, and it wasn't anxiety filled or anything like that. It was comfortable because, we knew the coaches had our backs no matter what. So we felt free to kind of just go out and play baseball, but also be competitive. And so I think that was really the biggest thing.
Yeah, for sure. So my last question is going to be, you said that you were originally recruited by Creighton, which is Division I out of high school. So to other high school players, what is some advice you would have to get recruited?
I would say the biggest thing is development, more than anything. College baseball and your freshman year into college is not your end goal. You want to go somewhere where they're going to take care of you, and that they have a program built that's going to help you become better. So by the time you're a junior and you're trying to get drafted, or by the time you're a senior, whatever the case may be, you're going to be a better baseball player than you were when you came in.
Yeah.
Whether that's if they're supportive of, driveline or biomechanics, Rapsodo, if they're big on tech, whatever works for you, and can find that right fit, then you'll be good for sure.
Yeah. Actually, I lied. I have one more question. So, do you think that the drive line coming back from Tommy John, do you think that that's worth it?
Yes,
It
definitely.
is.
And I think I didn't mean to say driveline in such a broad way, because there's so much more to it. Obviously, there's the biomechanics, there's the weight room aspect, there's kind of everything to it.
Hmm.
I would say find a facility or find somebody or something online that you know you can trust
Yeah.
and that has a good track record that'll evaluate you and give you the right throwing program. So you're not just, going in blindfolded,
Yeah.
chucking 2-pound balls at a wall without really knowing why you're doing it and, what it's going to help you with. And so definitely stay away from the cookie cutter stuff.
Yeah.
And go with the things that have been like tailored for you. That's going to help you like optimally become, the best pitcher you can be.
I got it. Yeah. I appreciate this, and I appreciate you sitting down here and talking with me and answering some of my questions. I know it's for sure going to help me out a lot.
Yeah. Thanks for having me, man. And good luck with your recovery. I know you're going to be better after it for sure.
Yes. And good luck with your upcoming season this year. Hopefully you guys get to play.
Yeah. Hopefully, man.